Hi guys. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about stress. Um, so frequently I see people who are trying to heal from whatever, and they start with their body. Well, you have all sorts of things going on behind the scenes here. So let me just explain a few things to you about stress and what it does, and trauma and what it does to your body, and what environment and different things it's going to take to heal it. Now, let's keep in mind, I do not have a medical degree from this earth. Okay, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just giving you basic information. Doctors nowadays seem to just want to cover up your symptoms. I am trying to teach you how to fix them. Okay? As many of you know, I went through a great deal of trauma. I went through a great deal of things really, really fast. Okay? And what trauma and stress does, and we're going to discuss what stress is, because many people don't understand the physiological and chemical effects that even one simple little thing can do to your body. Okay, so we're going to discuss that. But stress basically is, and every statistic in this world will show you this, stress is the #1 killer in the world. Now, as time goes on, the stress is going to keep going up and higher. We don't necessarily have control of what's going on, and I have no affiliation with any party or any political blah, 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 blah. I see them as narcissistically abusing an entire society. So, let's not go there. But the system, the way the infrastructure is designed, it's only going to get worse. It's like Microsoft Windows. Microsoft Windows, they made that program, and every year it gets bigger, 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 because the way that it was designed was flawed. The foundation of the programming is flawed, because you have to go here and 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 go here to accomplish this one little thing, whereas had it been compacted into one unit to begin with, it wouldn't take up so much space on your computer. So the computers get larger and larger. Oh, you've got a terabyte now. You got 2 terabytes. You got this. Well, it has to, because it needs to run Windows, and Windows is out of control. So it just keeps. There's always another problem. There's always this. There's always that. There's always, So they have to keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, because the initial design, the foundation that it lay on, was wrong. It was not divinely designed. Let me just explain that to you, okay? So, anyhow, the point of the matter is that the infrastructure of the world was designed on this crumbly, shitty foundation of some human's good idea, okay? That's what it was designed on. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was not a good idea. But because y'all don't like change, it's probably going to stay that way for a little bit longer. And it's going to cause so much stress, and things are going to cost so much money that people are going to be forced to, you're forced to either hurt each other to live, use each other to live, go crazy, or die. Those will be your options. So, we need to try to start making our lives a little more simplistic, okay? Because these guys that are blah, 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 running everything and running the show have no clue what they're doing. And they haven't for the entire duration that governments and things have been designed by very poor designers. You see our bridges that have to be redone, correct? That's their designs. Okay, so it's just going to get worse. The whole design of the infrastructure is A few people live way up here, a very small group of people, and then the billions of the rest of us have to keep them up there, you know. So it's going to cause you a great deal of stress. And the reason that it's going to cause you a great deal of stress is because you will be in a fight for your survival. Between other people who are, between other innocent people who didn't have any fingers in the pot. You know, they didn't have any benefit by what happened. So the statistics say in 5 years, even the middle class won't be able to afford to own a home of their own. So as the stress mounts, I see all of these symptoms. When I look at people, I see symptoms. And I see a great range of symptoms, and one of the biggest ones that I see is what I have termed as a perpetual state of fight or flight, because it is so stressful to live here, and people can't trust each other anymore because of your behaviors. You can't trust anybody, you know, really, essentially. So there's very few people who are in a comfortable position with people that they know they can trust, to where they can heal from an extended state of stress. One of the biggest stressors you will ever have in your life is the fight for your survival. Can you make enough money? Can you buy a house? Can you, well, then you're being brainwashed at every turn to buy. I love how in the 80s, when the subliminal messaging on all of these commercials and things, and all of the ads all over everything, when they started debating on the ethics and morality of brainwashing an entire planet to spend their money. Because it is also a statistical fact that the more it is pushed into your environment to buy, the more it is imprinted in your brain. Let's keep that in mind right there. Now, so everything's going to get harder. Everything's going to be more difficult for you to survive. So you're going to encounter a lot more stress. And I've been trying to do these videos for pert near 5 years now. But every time it seems like something happens to derail what I'm trying to do. So let's talk about stress. What happens when you have stress in your body? You get an increased amount of adrenaline, an increased amount of cortisol in your body. If that has been in your body for any duration of time, one of the biggest symptoms that you're going to see is a runny nose, a constant sinus issue. Adrenaline causes your nose to run. Did you know that? Well, I'm sure one person who watches this video is going to be thinking about that after she watches this. So I'm just gonna say that. So I've been observing all of these symptoms and all of these things. People in various states of extreme amounts of stress and trauma. As the world gets more cold, you can't form bonds and relationships, strong bonds and relationships with people anymore. People are so untrustworthy. People are so messed up from all the stress. And this is generationally, okay? This started at the inception of this infrastructure. So this has been going on since before any of us were born. Way before any of us were born. So basically, you got to fight for the good job. You got to fight for the better paying job. You got to fight to try to get a home. You got to fight to try to put food on your table. And you are fighting for your survival at that point. And nobody wants to look at it in that basic of a sense, because that is exactly what it is. You talk about different, as time goes on, birth defects are on the rise. And, well, yeah, you think? Okay, so we got all these chemicals that are made to be temporarily in your body for times when you need it. You know, if you went into battle, you would want that. I'm just saying. But in the 3D, do you see a battle around you? Actually, you do. But you're not looking at it right. So let's look at it like this. You're under extreme stress. You want to try to keep healthy, but the more you have to work and the more you have other things to take care of and the more that is expected of you as an adult, you're expected to be a certain way and act a certain way and be a certain way with your kids, and they're expected to, I mean, even I substitute teach, and even on the substitute teaching thing it said, if you notice children wearing the same clothes every day, you know, that might be something that you'd want to report. And I thought, wow, I'm from the 70s, okay? And that was a thing. You know, people did not change their clothes every day. But let's put this expectation up here, okay? It's not going to kill anybody to wear the same pair of jeans for 2 days in a row, or, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm throwing down for you. It's expensive to live here. Extremely. And it's going to get worse as the rich get greedier and greedier. And that is exactly the only outcome to this. The only outcome. Now, you want to try to de-stress your life as much as possible. It depends on what state of stress you're in. Once you get to a certain point, you become a narcissist. Or you're dead, or you flip out and you end up in a mental institution. Those are your only three options, really, at this point. I mean, they don't really sound very good. Or you can do what I'm going to tell you to do, which is minimize your life as much as possible. Put down your phones, not right now, because I'm telling you something that's important. Quit being brainwashed to buy, get what you need. It depends on how stressed you are. I was to the point, going through everything that I did, even hearing a dog bark or hyperness of an animal when I walked in the door was just too much for me to handle. I wanted to shut down. Okay, I wanted to shut down. I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle that stimuli because my body was so up here on edge. I looked like a strung out drug victim. That's what it does to you. Or because I was trying to stay me throughout it all and not become a cold-hearted, evil, sadistic bitch that just used people for what I wanted, okay? Because that was the goal for everything that went through there. I just want to tell you that. I still want to help you. I still know how important it is for me to tell you the things that you need to know, because I can see that the only foreseeable outcome, I know, he doesn't know who I'm talking to. He's like, oh, there ain't nobody here. The only foreseeable outcome is you know, I've been through every scenario that I can possibly go through in my head. And the only foreseeable outcome to this infrastructure is not good for those that want to participate. Now, I know we all have to live, we all have to survive, we all have to do that, but there's a few things, you know, that people bring on themselves. So one thing I've seen is that they get too many animals. You are striving for love, the unconditional love of an animal, which you should be able to get from a human. Some people surround themselves with it. I've seen that many, many times. I've been in that many, many times. And you're supposed to be getting that kind of love from the people around you. You're supposed to be teaching your kids this. One of the things that, one of the side effects to perpetual fire flight, which I see started many generations ago, Depression era, all of that. This is a learned behavior, you guys. And then your circumstances and everything that you're in, one of the biggest things that I see is people are striving to surround themselves with different things, or they're developing different problems. And one of the biggest things that you're going to develop, other than, because the stress itself can't kill you. It's the effects that it has on your body because you are stressed. So one of the effects that it has on your body and on you psychologically is that you begin to take away from taking care of yourself, because that's the only time you can pull from. You know what I mean? You're tired. You don't want to get up anymore. You don't want to, you don't want to get the exercise you need. You don't want to, they make it hard to eat right, with all of these different things. So anyhow, you've got all of these factors going on, and then some of them are brought on by yourself, but some of them are circumstantial, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like the animals. If you get too many animals, you're going to be overwhelmed. Number one, you got an animal in your house, you got to pay attention to that animal, and they should be bathed regularly, and they should be groomed, and they should be played with, and they should be fed right. There's one animal is a lot of responsibility, and you're not being fair when you collect a whole bunch, So that's one thing that I frequently see is people going to animals. And one of the concerns with that is people getting too many animals and overwhelming themselves even more because they're trying to surround themselves with that love, that they did not receive. So you've got a whole wide variety of different things that can happen to you, but one of the biggest things is that if you have any predisposition to any sort of medical issue, family history, then you're gonna very likely see that rear its ugly head after a certain amount of time of depleting yourself and not taking care of yourself. All of a sudden, this health issue is gonna come up. And that is a result of everything that I've just explained to you. You're spreading yourself too thin, okay? You cannot do that. First and foremost, you have your children. If you have children in your household, take care of yourself so you can take care of them. I hear that all the time. My kids always come first, yeah. And then we got a whole society full of people that have all sorts of chemical imbalances and all sorts of different things because they didn't take care of themselves first. How are you going to take care of them right? Did you know that one vitamin imbalance in your body can cause you to go into rages? And did you know that? Okay, low iron, there's all sorts of different things that can cause you depression, that can cause you get them vitamin imbalances in your body, and then you're being some sort of healthy role model for your child. No, you're not. So always teach your children to take care of themselves, because you can't take care of other people without taking care of yourself first, okay? And that doesn't mean eat all the food and don't feed your kids, okay? Because that's what people jump to, and I don't really care what any of you have to say about that, okay? Obviously, make sure your child has food, but it's very stressful to do that. Nowadays it's getting worse and worse and worse. So basically, you have all of these family history, illnesses, and diseases that start rearing their ugly head in your life. Number one, it depends. Genetic makeup is genetic makeup. One person has another person has another person. The reason they have a predisposition for something specific is because they're likely have a vitamin imbalance, which was passed on. Do you understand how that works? Okay. Shallow breathing, that's another side effect, side effect of stress. When you have adrenaline and all of these different chemicals flowing through your body, you shallow breathe. What kills cancer? Oxygen. So when you take a normal breath, when I say a normal breath, a shallow breath, a deep breath, this is a deep breath, and you can make yourself pass out doing that, so be careful. But, one thing that I find is when I start feeling frustrated or I start feeling a certain kind of way, just stopping and getting oxygen to your brain so you can think more clearly resolves the problem. take a deep breath. People who have a predisposition for cancer and different things like that in their families, it's my theory, let's call it a theory, my theory, that they have a long line of shallow breathers because oxygen kills cancer. And when you take a deep breath and it goes through your bloodstream and it disperses throughout every area of your body. Now, if you think about hypothermia, I know I'm kind of jumping here, but think about hypothermia and how when you go into the water, your extremities, your body basically leaves your extremities to die off so it can keep the trunk, the vital areas of the body alive. Oxygen saturation will be distributed in much the same way. So you can, it's going to go to the most important things first. First, your brain, you know, your heart, you have all of these things, but then you have these other areas, and think of it like a little dark area, and you take a deep breath in, but it's not quite making it to that spot that you got cancer in, that spot right there. Another thing is your diet and your exercise are important. Thinking about that, instead of sitting around, because this age is all about sitting around doing nothing, watching electronic devices and watching other people live. Get out and live. Go outside. Move around. Do something with your body. Get your blood flowing. Get your electromagnetic, which you do have in your body, get your electromagnetic field pumping. Because the more exercise you get, the more your heart beats, the more it's a reaction throughout your body. You will feel much different. Okay? Your body is like a machine. Go and keep going and drive your vehicle without putting any fuel in it, and you consider food processed crap, your fuel. But it's not really. There's a lot of things that your body uses for fuel. Vitamin D from the sun goes into your largest organ. You have your oxygen that you're breathing in. You have your, number one, electromagnetic pulses that go through your body, and your the electronic field that goes through your body heals you. It heals you. Okay? So let's just keep that in mind. And the goal for me with everything that I've dealt with the last 5 years to tell you all these things, which I've learned a whole bunch in that. So I may have been delayed, but I wasn't really. I learned a bunch. The goal is to make you beat down to the point to where you no longer have any will to live. You know what I mean? That's what the goal was for me when I was going through everything. That's what it seemed like through people that I had different interactions with over the time. Work her to death. Keep her, when I'm trying to do something here. Okay? So, sorry. I know you probably don't understand that part right now, but I'm trying to do something here. So, these different things are... Go away. I already dealt with you. Now go. I'm talking and he thinks it should be about him. Anyhow, these different things are very important to your... Just stop. Oh, just stop. Okay. Sorry, I'm not going to argue with the dog. These things are very important to your healing and to your getting better. Number one, when you're in all this state of stress and you've got all this adrenaline and you're in that fight or flight, you're kind of getting this steady little stream of adrenaline into your body all the time. First, you need to come down from that. Truly relax. That is a hard thing to do. Especially if you're homeless, or if you're being jerked around everywhere, or if you're on a job that wants to work you every shift in consecutive days. It's very difficult for you to come down to the point to where you can get rid of that, So eliminate anything unnecessary from your life. You know, anything that you don't have to constantly be dealing with, or you don't have to. Some people, you know, I'm so overwhelmed. I have all these things or all these, you know, and it's like, then get rid of some of it. It's you or that, you know. So you got to look at it. You got to look at it like that. You know, you got to put some time into you. Deep breathing is important. You need to do different deep breathing exercises, especially if you find yourself, because fight or flight can actually get to the point where you're kind of panting. You know what I'm saying? And that is not good for you to be in for an extended period of time. So you need to, panting not like a dog panting, but for a human, yes, because you're nowhere near you're getting like 20 to 25% of the oxygen that you should be bringing into your body for each breath that you take. You get what I'm saying for you? So you need to learn how to relax and get down. And one of the hardest things that I had found with relaxing was I couldn't find the right environment to do so in. Number one, to heal, you need to be in an organized environment. And I know people, I've heard it umpteen times, and I don't care what you say. Your mess is causing you stress. An organized environment means that if you're in a rush to get out the door and the dog trips you and you spill your coffee and everything else, and then you're trying to find something in your house. You've got X amount of square feet, maybe you got a garage, maybe you got a yard, maybe you got a vehicle and all these things. The more you leave stuff everywhere, the more you're gonna not know where it's at. Put it back where it belongs. Keep your environment organized. Number two, your schedule. What did I say about the shifts? Your schedule is important. Your body needs to know when it's time to sleep or poop. You get on a schedule. You get what I'm saying? Your schedule is important. Getting the amount of sleep that your body requires. I don't care what their guidelines say. Okay? Everybody's different. Getting the amount of good rest that your body requires, which might include you eliminating animals from your bedroom if you're being woken up in the middle of the night by them. Banging around. You may not even be noticing it, but when you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm still so tired. I don't know why I slept for this. No, you didn't. You got interrupted during very important parts of your sleep. So it might be something that you need to look into. Not saying it to be mean, because I care about you. Your animal will be fine. I promise. Now, your schedule is important. Also, you know, keeping things, you got your schedule, you got your diet, you got your exercise, you got your environment. You're taking a little time to relax. There's many people I've seen that relaxing is almost beyond them. They have a hard time sleeping. You got a little steady stream of adrenaline going through your body all the time. Yeah, I'd say you might be having a hard time sleeping. You get what I'm throwing down for you? Now, deep breathing is a huge thing to keeping your body healthy. And people, you know, the doctors and everybody nowadays, very few of them are going to explain to you how to heal yourself. You're going to walk in there and they're going to tell you, quit smoking, quit drinking, quit this, quit that. Okay. Those are self-soothing techniques, usually from extended amounts of stress. That's what they're from. Okay? So I'm going to teach you what it's from and try to get you to calm down to the point to where your body can heal. It regenerates to an extent. Not like cut off a limb and your arm's going to grow back, you know, but your body can regenerate. So let's just keep that in mind. Now, I at one point, I just want you guys to know, at one point, probably a couple years ago, more like 3 or 4 years ago now, I was at the point where I was vomiting, I was shitting blood. I had tremors so bad that I couldn't hold on to anything. My memory, that's another thing that gets affected. My memory, which is excellent, by the way, on a normal basis when I'm healed. I'd look at something and turn around, small something, and forget what I just looked at. I couldn't hardly even be around people. I couldn't handle extra stimulus. And that's all from being intentionally targeted and attacked. I just want you to understand that. Now, this isn't something that is usual. You know, this is a very traumatic event that happened to me. But this is where I was at that point in time. My blood pressure was dropping to the point, the doctor told me that my blood pressure was dropping to the point to where I was blacking out and I was almost at coma state. Because that's something I have a predisposition to. You understand? From stress. So the more stress you put on another person, the more you are killing them. Keep that in mind too. So, I was at this point to where there were times I'm crawling across the floor. I can't handle anything. My tremors are so bad. You know, I can't even do anything. Okay, I was begging everybody to help me, but I was in such a state of fight or flight at that point, so much adrenaline going through me at that point, that I'm just, I couldn't concentrate enough to articulate to anybody what I needed to say to them, which is the point that some people would love to put you in. You get what I'm throwing down for you, you know. So, I was super, super sick. Super, super sick. I was having heart palpitations, anxiety attack. I mean, I can't even, the list of things that was wrong with me was astronomical. So I knew I had really important things to do during all this healing, and I had to learn, I had a bunch of things. Anyways, so the point of the matter is that I healed. Even in the state that I was still in up until not that long ago, I still was able to heal myself, you know, because I wasn't under the amount of stress that I had been under when everything started taking place. And this is stress that everybody, I mean, I just got through saying this to someone yesterday. I'm always taking care of everybody else. Nobody gave a fuck about taking care of me. You know, you get what I'm saying. It wasn't reciprocated. Should I expect that from someone? No. But if you say you love somebody and you care about somebody, then yes. Yes. Because you need to go and develop a deep bond and quit worrying about how you're going to look. I don't care how you look. You look like someone with a heart. That's what you look like. Everything else looks like narcissistic behavior. Do you understand? When you don't, you know, when people get together, they're so worried. They're so worried. When you get together with someone in a romantic relationship, you're always so worried about what's going to happen to you, or being vulnerable with that person, or if they, which you should be careful and have discernment, because there are a lot of people out there right now who would stab you in the back as well as look at you. Correct. But to show that you love, or that you care, or that you are an actual person that doesn't flippantly, you know, behave in a manner with which is not above board, I respect it. I respect that a great deal. And the reason I respect that a great deal is because you don't see it very often. All you see is these people worried about how they're going to look, or if somebody else is going to feel, you know what? If I care about you, I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to tell you I care about you. And you're going to know that I care about you because I'm going to show you that I care about you. You get what I'm throwing down for you. And I don't care if that's not the popular thing. I don't care. Look at what's popular. Good Lord. You guys can't even trust each other. All right, so you get into, you know, all of these different areas of healing, and you need your schedule, and you need your a good environment, and you need an environment that is low stress as much as possible, you know. Little by little by little, you can start pulling yourself out of some of these behaviors and some of these things that are killing you, basically, is what it boils down to. So, um, I was taught a great many things during all of this, and like I said, it wasn't. I don't have I don't have a doctorate here, you know, or anything like that. But I really, really, really get bored in school. Um, they go so slow. It's not even funny how slow they go. So,